28, verse 68. And Yahweh shall bring you into Mitzrayim, Egypt again, with ships. And the way of which I said to you, you shall see it no more again. And there you shall be sold to your enemies for slaves and female slaves, and no man shall buy you. And that is what happened to the regal class of the house of Judah. And I want to give you a brief history. I won't go into it too much, but I can't just make that statement because there'll be people that'll push back. But I want to give you a brief history on slavery. I was just amazed, I got to tell you. I mean, when you come to America and you talk to people about slavery, you can talk to black people about slavery, white people about slavery, and they'll give you all this history on slavery, and it only goes back to the 16th and the 17th century. And you're like, don't they teach you the history of slavery? Why? Ask the bloody question. Why are they only teaching you the history of slavery as far back as the 16th and the 17th century? Why are they only going that far back? Because they don't want you to go farther back than that, because then you'll actually find out the truth. But from the 16th and 17th century, we'll teach you about slavery. You've got to go further back, and you've got to understand and question, why do they do this throughout the whole of America, in all the public schools? Why do they only go back as far as the 16th and the 17th century to talk about slavery? We've got to go further back than that. Because Islam designed infernal slavery. And then the Ashkenazi Khazars, those who say they are Jews and are not, are the ones that marketed it. And the regal Negro nomads, exiled from the kingdom of Judah, were the main recipients of it at the hands of the indigenous black Africans. Because you've got to understand, the regal class of the house of Judah came down from Israel, and they came into the land of the black Africans. And the black Africans resented the regal class of the house of Judah in their land, because they had laws, they had customs, they had civility. And they were a regal class of Negro that came down into Africa, and later on it was the Ashkenazi, the Islamic slave traders as well, that then worked together with the indigenous black Africans to enslave the regal house of Judah. This is what we've got to understand, but you've got to go back before the 16th century to understand the roots of it. So we're going to see, as we dig into this, where this slavery came from, because it was really a system that was very, very well crafted. There was Islamic masters, and there were white Ashkenazi Khazar ship owners. There were the buyers and the sellers. And they're not going to fill you in on all of this, but really you've got a four-tier system. Number one, you have the Negro nomads that were exiled from the kingdom of Judah. Number two, you had indigenous black African hunters that resented the regal Negro nomads that had come into their territory with their own customs, with their own laws that were different and would not assimilate into their tribal culture. They were their own tribe. They were the regal house of Judah. And number three, you had Islamic trappers that worked with the indigenous black Africans to trap the regal Negro house of Judah. And then you had them sell them to the Ashkenazi ship merchants, along with many Portuguese and British Ashkenazi Ashkenazi.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which had been so long without fruit shall be declared. Shalom, shalom. This is your brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp. Salakia. Alright, this is a brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp with another lesson to the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Alright. First and foremost, Kal Halayam La Alahayanawa Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Kodash. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, salutations unto the brothers who preaching and teaching the truth through all the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom unto the speckled Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Lakoats. The name of this lesson is The Truth is the Truth. Alright? The truth is the truth. You can't do nothing against the truth. Alright? Because the truth will always be the truth. Alright? This lesson here is lamb back from a lesson that I did yesterday. I directed at an individual by the name of Mr. Chattagoon, because he is of the notion, right? He said he has videos debunking us and what have you, that we are the children, debunking us, that we are not the children of we are not the children of Israel and what have you, you know. But at the end of the day, the truth speaks for itself, which is the scriptures, and the scriptures proves who are the children of Israel. Alright, so I will go to the scripture here. First Ezra. Go to the scripture here. First Ezra, chapter 4 and 38. It reads, As for the truth, it endureth, and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. Alright? The truth, it will always conquer. Alright? It will always conquer. Now we saw in the video there concerning what take place with the southern kingdom of Israel, which is the kingdom of Judah. Alright? Because he, just like all the rest of heathens out there that do not like the fact that we are waking up and claiming our heritage, they do not understand the fact that it was not Africans selling Africans, but Africans, or Hamites, I would say, Hamites selling Israelites. Alright? As we saw there in the clip. Alright? And the scriptures proves it. Okay? Because Deuteronomy chapter 28, Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68 is a scripture that they don't, that no heathen, alright, no heathens likes to deal with, because it is as plain, especially Deuteronomy 28 in the King James 16:11. Alright, that's why in all the rest of versions of the Bible, this particular scripture, they butcher it, they twist it for spite, because it is too plain to see. Alright, and the Lord, Deuteronomy 28:68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, which is slavery, because Egypt synonymizes slavery. Alright, the word Egypt means bondage or slavery. It's a Greek word, Egyptos. Alright, but the real name for that landmass, what we call Egypt, Alright, which I had already proven yesterday. It's Mitzrayim or Matazarayam. Alright, with ships. Alright, he shall bring us into slavery again with ships, by the way whereof I speak unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, which means this is how we tell you is going to go into slavery. But this again, alright, but this time he is going to go with ships. Right, this is how we tell you it is going to happen. And there, which means when you come off those slave ships, you shall be sold unto your enemies. Alright, for bondmen and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you. That word buy, it means to redeem. Alright. This is something here that they do not like to deal with. They do not they fail to acknowledge, you know. They are like the deaf adder that stop at their ear. But again, the scriptures proves it. Okay, so now let's go down. I think I ought to go to I should go to the blue letter. Alright. Because what I'm going to do is to go through the whole list of the Hamitic nations. Alright. This is Genesis 10 and 6. I'm going to cross-reference it in two ways. Alright. Genesis 10 and 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mitzrayim, and Put, and Canaan. Cush is who you know as the Ethiopians. Mitzrayim is who you know as the so-called Egyptians. Alright? But the people that is in Egypt now, they are not the true Egyptians. Alright? Alright, the people that is in Egypt now, they are not the true Egyptians. Alright, they are a band of Edomites. Alright? Mixture of Edomites, which is the so-called white man. Alright, Esau, Edom, and Ishmaelites. Alright, Arabs. Alright, and Put and Canaan. Put is the so-called Libyans, but the people who in Libya today, they are not the true Libyans. Is the same as Egypt, but mean a mixture of Edomites and Ishmaelites, but mainly Ishmaelites, mainly Arabs, and Canaan. Canaan today, the people of Canaan is actually Mandela's people, the South Africans. Alright? But the true Egyptians today, we know today, the real Egyptians, the Egyptians of antiquity, that alright, you would find that these people today are the people of Sudan. Alright, the people of Sudan, South Sudan and Sudan, and the Somalians are the actual Putites. Alright, the people of Put. Alright, so now let's go down. Let's continue on the sons of Cush, Sheba, and Havilah, and Shapta, and Raama, and Sabteka, and the sons of Raama, Sheba, and Dedan. Alright, and Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. Alright. Okay. Which means Nimrod was what? A Cushite, a so-called Ethiopian. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, or Babylon. Alright, so it shows that the Babylonians, they are Ethiopians. And Erech and Akkad and Calneh in the land of Shinar, which is modern day Iraq, Shinar. Out of the land, Shinar today is now called Mosul. I think it's Mosul. Alright, yeah, Mosul. Out of that land went forth Ashur, alright, and builded Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth and Calah. Alright, and Resen between Nineveh and Calah, the same is a great city. And Mitzrayim begat Ludim and Anamim and Lehabim and Naphtuhim and Pasruhim and Kasluhim, right? Out of whom came Philistine, all right, or the Philistines, all right, which you know today as modern day what, Palestine, and Caphtorim, all right. And the sons of Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn. Now this Sidon will be a bit prominent within this lesson, all right. Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite, and the Hivite, and the Arkite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zamarite, and the Hamathite. And afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou goest to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Abna and Zeboim, even Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries and in their nations. So, right, so we see that the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, who the Most High God destroyed, they were Canaanites. They were so-called what I call today Africans. All right, they were Africans. All right. Now, the thing is, what you guys fail to realize, that's because everybody, not everybody. Let me take my time. Just because someone has melanated skin, blonde hair, melanated skin, woolly hair, and also thick lips and whatnot, you know, is that they are all and they came from Africa or whatever. They are all Africans. That is a lie, because there is a reason why the Most High God makes sure and put lineages throughout the whole of Genesis. All right, through the whole of Genesis 10 and going down the line. All right. Because you have three different progenitors, of bloodline, which is Japhetic, Shemitic, and Hamitic. All right, so we see the bloodline of these Hamites. All right. When I continue, want to go down a bit to 21. All right. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, which is these so-called East Indians, right? They are the firstborn of Shem. All right. Asher and Aphaxad. Now, Aphaxad is from where the chosen lineage started from. All right. And Lud and Aram, and the children of Aram, Uz and Hul and Gether and Mash, and Aphaxad begot Salah, and Salah begot Eber. All right, now the word Eber, which it goes back into the word Hebrew. All right, and unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. All right, so you see here, days where the Most High started with the separation here. All right, because Eber had two sons. All right, and Peleg was the chosen one out of the two sons to continue. All right, when you go down, because you see, I go through all that list because for time's sake. All right, these are the sons of, you see all the names here, verse 29 and verse 30. All right, verse 31 reads, these are the sons of Shem after their families, after their tongues and their lands, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah after their generations in their nations. By these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. All right. So we see here Noah came through from the line of Shem. All right. Salakia, what nonsense are talking? Is what I went a bit off there. Alright, I'm gonna correct that. Alright, so you see that these are the sons of Shem after their families, after their tongues in the lands, right? Good, right. So these are the families of the sons of Noah after their generations in their nations. By these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. Alright, so this is the situation here, because every man upon the face of the earth goes back to one of Noah's 3 sons. That is the reason why we don't argue with Christians when Christians say that everybody came from Adam and Eve. Alright, because from Adam, after Cain killed Abel, Adam begat what? He begat Seth, and from Seth, the lineage goes all the way down, alright, till it reached to Noah. Alright, and after the flood, the Most High did what? The Most High repopulated the earth again through these 3 individuals. Alright, so everybody goes back to these men. The thing is, all these men were so-called black men. Alright? At East Indian, you have dark-skinned East Indian, very dark-skinned East Indian, but the thing is, why you don't call them Africans? Because we know for a fact they are not, right? Or Hamites. Alright? They are not. So not just because we they took us from the west coast of Africa and bring us here and scatter show the 4 corners of the earth. Alright, that doesn't mean we are Africans. Alright? So let's go into a bit of prophecy here. Alright? To link back with that Deuteronomy 28 and 68. So let's go to the book of Luke. The book of Luke chapter 20. I think it's 20 and 21 or 21, 20. Just bear with me. I'm just go that fast. Alright, no, it's Luke 21. Luke 21 and 20. Right? Luke 21 and 20. It reads, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. Now this is the Messiah speaking, who the world ignorantly and stupidly calls Jesus Christ. Alright? When you see it in red letter, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Alright, because this is the prophecy of what Yahushua prophesying concerning what will happen to Jerusalem. Alright, after his death and what have you, which is what? The account or the advent of 70 AD. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and that mountains, it represent Africa. That mountains was Africa, where we had was to flee. Alright, because even back then when the Lord was born, where did he had was to flee? When you go to oh Lord, bear with me. Out of Matthew, I think it's Matthew 2. Let me see Matthew 1 first. Is it Matthew 1? Oh, Matthew 1 or Matthew 2, boy. I think it's Matthew 2. Alright, this is Matthew 2 and 1. Let me see. Matthew 2 and 1. I will start from 1. Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east of Judea, saying, where is he that is born king of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. Alright, but I want to get the account where he had was to flee to Egypt. Alright. Yes. Yeah. There is Matthew 2 and 12. Alright. And being warned of Yahweh in a dream, this is Joseph here, that they should not return to Herod, they departed their own. No, this is the 3 wise men. Alright. They departed into their own country another way. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek to seek the young child to destroy him. Alright, so it's the same thing when I go back to Luke. When I go back to Luke 21 and 20. Alright? Alright? And 21 I should read, and right, it reads, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries come enter therein too. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. All things as in what? The curses. Alright? This is how the prophecy was being able to fulfill, by the way of us being taken from the west coast of Africa and being brought here now. Alright? Alright? Where all things may be fulfilled. You know, this is how it was able to not fall void. Yeah? This is how it was able to not fall void. Because we had us to flee into Africa. We had us to flee into Africa to what? To escape the persecution. Alright? More importantly, escape, I wouldn't say more importantly, but the fact is that you can't tell the difference between us by appearance. Alright, because we went into Africa mainly to hide, because we look like the Africans. Alright, we look like these people. Same broad nose, thick lips, melanated skin, woolly textured hair. Alright, but we are what? Of a different bloodline. We came from a different bloodline from these people. Yeah? What separates us is our customs. When you go back to Exodus 11 and 7:11. Exodus 7, sorry. I think it's Exodus 7 and 11. Or Exodus 11 and 7, boy. Let me see. Just bear with me. Yeah, Exodus 11 and 7. Alright, it reads, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move its tongue. Alright, who's the dog? These other nations, these heathen nations, especially these stinking Hamites. Against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth or do put a difference, alright, between the Egyptians and Israel. Alright, when you go over to the NLT, alright, where it reads, but among the Israelites it will be so peaceful that not even a dog will bark. Then you will know that the Lord make a distinction, alright, a distinction between the Egyptians and the Israelites. Alright, because we have different customs and what have you. Alright, towards these Hamites. All these Hamites, not just the people of Mitzrayim, but the Cushites, the Canaanites, the Hivites, and all of them. Alright, we have a different spirit. We don't put big plates on our lip and rings around our neck to make our neck long in the place and what have you. Alright, and all these other things, tribal markings and all these stuff. Alright, so that is what really sells us out. You know, when we was hiding out in Africa. Alright, the thing is too, we always been fluent in, we always been influxed in Africa throughout the time period before the Messiah came. Alright. We had always been going into Africa and going into the interiors of Africa and setting up societies and whatnot, you know, communities, I would say. It is recorded history. Alright, the truth is the truth. To all, not just to Mr. Chattagoon, but to all you heathens. Alright, the truth is the truth. Now this is just one of the southern kingdom I'm speaking about. I ain't even reached to the northern kingdom as yet. Well, I wouldn't do it in this lesson for time's sake, alright? Alright? That's why, you know, you all tend to to try to label us falsely, you know, black Hebrew Israelites and all these derogatory names and what have you, so forth. Right? We are not black. We are different shades of brown. Just as the Hamites also. They are not black. They are different shades of brown. Alright? We are the Hebrew Israelites that the scripture speaks of. Alright? So to go back to the Luke 21 and 20. Alright, where it reads, for these be the days, 22, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Alright, when I go down to verse 24, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. Alright, Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Alright. This isn't Yahushua speaking here. And this is prophecy. This prophecy goes all the way back to this prophecy goes all the way back to, oh gosh, Ezekiel 35 and 36, where it speaks about, you know, the Lord have as a judgment to play out upon, you know, it's because of, you know, a judgment to play out because Esau, Edom, and the rest of the heathen nations, you know, they took his land, all right, and parted it and what have you, even in Joel 3. All right, and who are the poor people? When I go to Joel 3, I'll go back to it, Joel 3. All right, Joel 3 and 1. All right, for behold, in those days and in that time will I bring again, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. All right, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people. All right, and for my heritage. All right, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. When I go into the word scattered, a key word there. A key word. Let's go into that word scattered. Chat. What the hell I did? I'll go back to it. Alright, this is what I'm supposed to do. Alright.
Strong's H6340. Pazer.
Alright. To scatter, to disperse, to scatter, to be scattered. Alright, to be scattered. Alright. No etymology here. To disperse, alright. Be scattered. Alright. I wonder if I will get that in web search. Let me see something I'm looking for. Alright, disperse, break up, disband, separate, dissipate. All these words good, yes, but a word I'm looking for actually is diaspora. But that's alright. You'll get it in the New Testament. Alright? You will get it in the New Testament, you know. Even deeper where it goes into diaspora. Alright, so alright, whom they have scattered among the nations. Alright, let me see something. I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna go back. Let me see something. Here with this here. Yeah, they don't want to translate that. Yeah, they don't want to translate it, eh? Okay. That's sign. Alright, we'll go back into the etymology. Alright. Anyhow. Alright. And they have cast lots of my people, and they have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Alright? What have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Okay? Who does Tyre and Zidon goes back to? You heathens. Answer this question. Alright? Zidon, here is in Z-I-D-O-N, which I had said, which I had explained, it interchangeable. Alright? Alright? Sidon. Alright, now who is Sidon? Alright? Who is Sidon? Yeah? Who is Sidon? Let's go back. Go back to Genesis 10. Come on. Alright, we're going back into the right. And Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn. Alright, and Het. Okay? Okay? When did a bunch of Africans sold white people to so-called white people? Again, this is the thing too, you know. Just as the Edomite man, that so-called white man said, you know, this is the reason why they doesn't like us, you know, for us so-called Negroes to learn the truth about ourselves, you know. This is why, you know, they will give us that slave teaching, all right, to keep us as slaves still, all right, in the school system and what have you. All right, that slave curriculum they will teach us in the schools, you know, where we will know our true history. All right, that's why with our history we could only go as far back as slavery. All right, 1500s, 1600s, and whatnot. But what about before that? What about the time of the BC era? Why we can't go to that era to learn of our true history? It's because they know. They know. Alright? When you go to I have something here I want to read, alright, which goes back to the, but let me just do this here first. Alright? What have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly, speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Alright? I don't want to go through all that reading there because some of them more readings to do. Alright? We always been in Africa, and we went into Africa to hide. Because that script, that prophecy what I read for you in Luke 21:20, let's go to the historical account. Let's go to the historical account, and then I'll come back to this page here. I'll come back to this. I'll come back to that. I wanted us to read that first, but that's not a problem. Right, almost reached. Alright, this is the book of Babylon to Timbuktu. Alright, this has the actual account, alright, concerning us going into Africa and what have you. Alright, fleeing from Roman persecution. Alright, it reads, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jew state, not Jewish. Alright, because the word ish, I-S-H, that ish at the end is something to what is to pertain to. Alright, to be like. Alright, we are not Jewish, we are the actual Jews, the so-called Negroes. Alright, with great slaughter during the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. Alright, against the residue of the people, because it was the war was going on since I think around like what 66 or 64 AD or something like that. Alright, there's something like a 6-year war between us and the Romans until we finally fell in 70 AD. Alright? Alright? So it reads, during the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery, the slave markets were full of black Jew slaves. Alright? And you can see the scripture there. Alright? Concerning where Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is going to scatter us. Alright? From one end of the earth even to the other. Alright? So, we see in here. Alright? This is how they could have been able to take us. These Africans. Alright? And round us up with the Arabs and the so-called white man and sell us to these people groups. These Arabs and what have you and the so-called white man. That is how they could have been able to perpetrate that wicked act that they had perpetrated and have us scattered through the four corners of the earth, alright? Because, hey, this here is what? It's fulfilling what? It's fulfilling prophecy. Yeah? There is where it is. It is fulfilled prophecy here. Alright? I think I had something on page 88 to go into also. Alright? Watch this, page 88 here. Let me see something here. I will start from here. Alright? The Black Jews Empire of Ghana. Because I have some pictures to show with this here. The ancient Black Empire or Negro Empire of Ghana was established in Western Sudan, which is Africa. Alright? Because Africa was actually called Sudan. The word Sudan in Arabic, it means dark. Alright? During the colonial period, the Western Sudan was called French West Africa. The northern boundary of this region is the Sahara Desert. The western and southern border is Lake Chad. Some rivers of this regions are the Senegal, the Gambia, the Volta, the Benue, the Lagoon, alright, and last but not least is the famous Niger or Niger River. Alright, this river flows from the Guinea Islands northeast to the famous cities of Timbuktu and Gao, which is Gao is no way to note what you know today now was modern day Ghana. Then it makes a sharp turn and flows southeast towards the city of Benin in Nigeria. In ancient times, the Carthaginians, which was actually Hamites also, right, residing in North Africa, mainly Tunisia. From North Africa penetrated the Sahara Desert and the Western Sudan during the 2nd and 3rd centuries BC. When North and Eastern Africa was amassed over they was doing that when North and Eastern Africa had amassed over 1 million Jews. Right in the BC era. Yeah, in the BC era. Alright? These Jews began a continuous migration to the region of the Niger River, according to the researchers of Nahum and Schlouch. The tradition of the Jew traders in Sahara stretches back to the biblical times. Alright? This is what I said. Why they would never teach us our history going back to the BC era? Because they know if they do that, alright, eyes will start to open. The people will start to be awakened. Alright? Good? Continuing. Slouch, who is he's a historian, alright? And it is not at all surprising. It is not at all surprising to encounter in every part of the desert traces and even survivals of a primitive Judaism as a religion, but heritage, I would say the heritage of the children of Israel, the Jews, alright, the southern kingdom, which at one time played an important role in the whole region of the Sahara from Senegal even to the borders of Somaliland. Alright? As I have mentioned earlier, this region that extends across the entire width of Africa below the Sahara Desert from Senegal to Somaliland is known as the Sudan or Black Africa. Alright? Between the 2nd and 3rd centuries, the Negro Jews of Arabia, alright? Because when I go to you Jews also in Arabia, alright? In the BC era and what have you. Alright? Go read concerning the day of Pentecost, where there was Jews dwelling Jews, devout men, from every nation under heaven. Alright? And Arabia was one coming back for the day of Pentecost. That is Acts 2 from 5 go all the way down. Alright? Alright? Between the 2nd and 3rd centuries, the Jews of Arabia continued migrating across the Red Sea to Ethiopia. The largest exodus of the Jews occurred during the persecution, alright, by the Arabs led by Muhammad. He had said on his dying bed that he wanted Islam to be supreme throughout all Arabia. Now, this is the reason why we end up on, this is a big reason why we end up on the whole of the West Coast. Because when we came into Africa, a lot of us was not really dwelling on the West Coast. We was mainly dwelling on the east side and certain parts of Central Africa. But because of persecution from these Hamites, we was always in war with these Africans. And then on top of that, when the Arabs came on the scene now and they started round us up, because the first slave trade to take place there was the Sub-Saharan, alright, the Sub-Saharan slave trade. We were being pushed until we end up on the whole west coast of Africa. That's how they was able to take. That's how the slave trade was being able to flourish even more on the west coast. Actually, how come you didn't really get the slave trade going all the way to the east coast of Africa? I mean, it wasn't mainly there, but on the west coast, because the children of Israel was residing there. And I will prove it even more without a shadow of a doubt. Alright? There was a Jewish tribe called Rechab which crossed the Red Sea and migrated to the extreme point of the western Sudan at the time that the Jews who immigrated westward across the Sudan from Ethiopia. Alright? Okay, see in line. They also migrated southward to Libya, from Libya, Salakia, Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco, fleeing from Mohammedanism conquest, alright? To the fertile region between Senegal and the Niger rivers. When the Jews from the north and the east met between these two rivers, they established a confluence or crossroads in West Africa, where men would exchange their culture, ideas, and merchandise. These Jewish migrants on with great frequency, alright, about 300 AD, and they had continued with the uttermost regularity for 1200 years. Alright? Until what? The slave trade started to take place. Alright? So, you guys, and I think I would end it off here. Alright, I had some other reading to do, but I will make another video with it. Through the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright? And hey, it is what it is, boy. So let's go to 2 scriptures, and then I will end it off with a video clip. Alright, I'll go to here. I'll go to here. Let's go to John. Let's go to the book of John. Yeah. John chapter 8 and verse 32. It reads, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Alright? To our people, you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free through the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright? Last scripture that I wanna I think I would have to Google that scripture, because the other scripture offhand. The other scripture offhand. Alright? Let me see. Let's type in the last. I don't want to go through all of that for time's sake. What the hell? Alright. KJV. Alright. Alright, 2 Corinthians 13 and 8. 2 Corinthians 13 and 8. 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 8. It reads, "For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth." Alright? You heathens, you Mr. Chattagoon, and what have you, and all you as heathens, you could do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Alright? So you could go ahead with your mockery and your circumlocution and and your discrediting and whatnot and trying to debunk, and you can't. Alright? You can't. Alright? Hey, almost forgot the pictures, man. Watch this. I have something to show. I have something to show through the power and spirit of the Most High. Now, seeing that we are not Jews, alright? Now, this is an old map. A very old map. This is a old map before the so-called white man come on the scene and start to change up everything and whatnot so forth. What you're seeing there by the red line there. Now, this is the West Coast. This is on the Gold Coast, right? The West Coast of Africa. This is before the triangular transatlantic slave trade. Alright? What you're seeing there, Fort Judah or Wahida or Wida, alright, is broken Hebrew for Judah. Now, if we are not Jews and we as Africans as you claim us to be, alright, us Negroes here who came from this region here, if we are not the true Jews that the scripture speaks of, then how the hell, why would these people claim a heritage, claim a nationality that is not them own from since back then, before the slave trade start? Alright, because as you could see, the slave coast there, we hear alright, let me come out a bit. Alright, Wahida there, you see, right, King Judah, Fort Judah, you see it underlined there in red, alright, Jews and Africa, alright, because the true Jews, well, actually all 12 tribes of Israel was so-called black people, alright, but due to the mix and mingle, and as I say, you will get Israel in different appearances now. But the original the children of the Israelites of antiquity, alright, were so-called black people. They were not so-called white people. Alright? So now, I have a next one. Watch this. Negro land. Alright? Negro land. Alright, you can see Guinea there, whatnot, so forth. Alright, because we took over the whole of the West Coast and had kingdoms and what have you. Alright, had our own kingdoms. I have a lot more to do to bring out in history concerning this here. Alright? I have a lot more to do, so let's look to end the tour off.
African statement, where I have this African confession on tape that he know we are two different manner of people. We're talking about the seed of Ham, and that they sold us into captivity, and that they was cutting our ancestors' heads off, okay, and that they was eating, okay, the heads, because they were a bunch of heathens. Just like it says in Jeremiah the 10th chapter, follow not the ways of the heathens, and how he specifically distinguished that he come from a different bloodline, a different ethnic origin from the so-called Afro-American, Jamaican, Haitian, Puerto Rican, Panamanian, Cubans, Mexicans, okay, so on and so forth, and the so-called black, brown-skinned Native American Indians, okay, and all the brothers and sisters in the shanty towns of North, Central, and South America of so-called Negroid descent. That the problem is, you Israelites, you black people in this country, what do you say about them? You call them animals or something? I call them inferior. I call you slaves. We turn you into slaves, and when we didn't need it no more, we kick you out of Israel, and out of Egypt and out of Africa. We sold you to America, and that's where we want you to stay, and we don't want you back in Africa again. Now, you black people in this country, it's time for you to wake up and realize that this stink doodle eating African does not care about you. He's not your people. He hates you, and that's why he sold you out of Africa. Now, and you admit that, right? Huh? You're admitting that today on the white man is not a devil. We sold it to the white man. Right. If we had sold it to our devil, you would not be alive today. Now, let's get back. You did. We don't want you to die yet. So we didn't use the devil. Chop our heads off and slave it all and sacrifice it to your God. We ate it. What do you mean sacrifice it? Say it again. We ate the goddamn heads when we chopped them off. We didn't sacrifice you. We used to eat your assholes over there in Africa. Yeah. Before you sold us. God, that we used to eat the men over there. We used to eat you sold us. Yeah. And then when we got fed up of your flesh, it was no good anymore. And we thought it was unclean. We decided to sold you into slavery to get rid of you. In case you multiply and subdue the earth over there. Okay, now. But let's get back to the point, because you're trying to get away from it. Why wasn't he able to stop the hand of the Lord, the Israelite God, the God of Israel, from delivering his people from such a powerful, mighty nation? How come your God didn't do that? Let me tell you. How come he didn't stand up for Pharaoh and save Pharaoh? Because we still drowning in the Red Sea. We said, get your assholes, you Israelites, out of our goddamn country, and take your God with you. And we don't want to see you back to you anymore. That's a lie. You were forced to let go the children of Israel. No matter how we were, it doesn't matter. We were glad to see your house. I know you was glad. You was glad because you was getting your asses kicked. And you came back. You was glad. You were glad because you was getting your asses kicked. No, when you came back, we just had to sell you. You was glad. You know what? When they came back, when you came back to Africa, you was glad because you was getting your asses kicked. That's why. Okay, now listen. We were beating your assholes with whip and turning to slaves. How could we get our asses kicked? We were beating your assholes with whip. I'm making you burden, making you carry, making you into slaves. We were whipping your asses every day. Right, but you know what? Oh, that's right. He said that the problem is, you Israelites, you black people in this country, what do you say about them? You call them animals or something? I call them inferior. I call you slaves. We turn you into slaves, and when we didn't need it no more, we kick you out of Israel, and out of Egypt and out of Africa. We sold you to America, and that's where we want you to stay, and we don't want you back in Africa again.
So you heard it from the horse's mouth. You heard it from that stinking Egyptian. Admitting that we are not the same, though we may look the same. Hope you was edified through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Kalalayam la alaya nawa Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Ba'asham Rakah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, salutations unto the brothers who preaching and teaching this truth through the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled Israelites, and shalom unto the very few but faithful Akawats, which is his sisters. The truth is the truth, and that's all.